Hi, everybody. Welcome to 90-Minute Cocktail Hour. I am your host, Mike Guccione. I am the owner of Driftwood and Dune Photography. Um, Today, we have episode 17 with Events by Emily. She and I have worked together a couple of times on some weddings, and we've had the opportunity to chat a little bit and get to know each other and learn about each other's lives. And I just really enjoyed my conversations with her at weddings, and we've just gotten along really, really great and had some really wonderful days together. So wanted to get her on to hear a little bit more about her story. So. We talk about all different kinds of things, and I'm really excited to share this conversation. This was a really fun one. Um, if you haven't already, make sure that you are subscribed to 90 Minute Cocktail Hour on Apple Music, or excuse me, Apple Podcasts, Apple, or no, we're done with Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. So, yeah. Make sure that you are subscribed to all those places and leave comments, share with people. Definitely helps get this out to more people. So, yeah, without further ado, here is my conversation with Emily. Hey, Emily, how's it going?
Hi, good. How are you? Thank
Good.
you for having me.
My pleasure. Thanks for coming on here and doing this with me. Um, so we have Emily from Events by Emily. She is a wedding planner, day of coordinator. She and I have worked together a couple times. Had just like a wonderful experience together. And she's got a great personality, wonderful planner, wonderful coordinator. I'm super excited that you are here. We've had the opportunity to chat a little bit, on our wedding days. And I feel like you and I kind of are on the same vibe, same wavelength when it comes to weddings. So yeah, I was just gonna say, why don't you do a little intro for yourself? Let everyone know
Sure.
your business and what you're about.
Yeah. So, like Mike said, I'm an event planner, coordinator. I do full planning, partial planning, day of coordination, which obviously is not really, well, I don't know if it's obvious, but it's not just the day of. So we start like 2 months before and all that. So I do that. I do weddings, baby showers, bridal showers, birthday parties. I'm doing a memorial. Who knew? That was in there too.
Yeah.
So whatever you want me to do, I'm here. But no, I love to be a part of couples or individuals' special days. Um, I think it's really important to have somebody, all vendors who feel like family. So that's what I do. I try to make everybody's day easy, your day easy, our clients' day easy, um, and just stress free as possible. So it's important that their visions are executed.
Mm.
Really.
I also want to say, I even as someone who's been shooting weddings for a long time, up until recently, I didn't really understand the nuances between full planning, partial planning, day of coordination. I would just see on my timelines or in talking to my couples, oh, they have a planner or a day of
Yeah.
coordinator. And I just kind of lumped all those things into one big category.
Mhm.
And it wasn't until recently that I realized oh, there's different levels of what you do.
Yeah. Yeah. There are. And I want to say, as I talk to different people, about how they go about their planning, every planner is different. They go about their, you know, timelines or how they start the day of coordination, let's say, differently. But at the end of the day, we all execute the day the way, hopefully, that the couple plan. So there are different levels. So, um, a lot of my clients go for partial planning rather than full planning. I think, and I try to steer them toward that too, unless they're totally hands off. Um, but I think it's important that the couples are part of their day as well in decision making
Mm,
rather than, me saying, here are your vendors. I planned your whole wedding. Yes, you have a say a little bit, but I like them to get their creative mind going as well so that they feel like it's their day.
right.
Um, so and that's when they have, a lot of them have already booked their venue and let's say a photographer. So that's where I jump in after, if they need help with finalizing their vendors for partial. And then day of coordination, I should probably, like, rename that because it's not day of. We're there day of regardless of what package you choose, but, um, the day of is really at least 2 months prior. I always reach
Mhm.
out a little bit sooner, but, you know, it gets so crazy for these couples, and I'm sure you see it, like, I don't know how far in advance you reach out, but, a lot of vendors have their monthly check-in the month of, and it's you're trying to get 4 weeks in all these final meetings, and it's a lot for these
Yeah.
couples. It's
Yeah.
overwhelming, so I try to, get ahead of that and get their minds thinking even prior to, um, questions that you might even ask them, so that they're prepared and they're not at the final meeting, deer in headlights.
Right.
Um, so that's what we do. We try to just keep it everything easy, stress-free, enjoyable because it can easily get unenjoyable for couples.
Yeah.
Before I talk to them, they're always stressed out.
Yeah, I feel like I kinda say that from, like, the very first meeting with them, like, even on my consult calls before anyone's even booked me, like, I tell them, like, "I don't wanna be an added source of stress to your day,"
Yeah,
Like, I don't wanna add any pressure or anything. Like, my I feel like my roles as the photographer, like, yeah, obviously I'm there to, like, coach and to pose and to, like, to a certain extent, like, in the absence of a planner or a day of coordinator, the photographer is pretty much like quarterbacking the
yeah,
day.
yeah, you are.
So, um, so, like, I try to do those, like, timeline calls, usually, like, around 3 months out because
Yeah,
I am aware, again, in the absence of, like, a planner or coordinator that, like, a lot of other vendors' plans are kind of, like, they're hinging on what the photography timeline is, right? So,
mhm,
you know, the hair and makeup needs to know, like, when the photographer is gonna show up so they know
yeah,
when they need to be finished, right? Like, obviously, video is gonna work around, like, what the photographer is doing,
yeah,
and then, like, working with a planner or day of coordinator, if there's anything that you guys are aware of that we aren't, like, you need to be in the know. We both need to be in the know of each other's,
right,
like, goings on, you know?
yeah, yeah. That's
Um
that's a big thing, and I feel like if there's not a day of coordinator, obviously the venue's a whole different story, but if there's not a day of coordinator, you guys are really the go-to person, I feel like, for a timeline, and that's what
mhm,
they rely on, and, like you said, hair and makeup, right? Like, a lot of my couples, when I talk to them, they don't realize that, oh, hair and makeup should really be done before you get there. Like, that can make or break a morning, and
right.
unless you have somebody guiding you through that, you know, or like a really good photographer like you don't they're not made aware of these things. So it could really just the whole day could go awry.
It could go off the rails pretty quickly. And, that's why, like, when people are like, "What do I do? What do I do?" Well, like, trust your vendors, like,
Yes.
trust your planner, trust your photographers. Like, we've done this a bunch obviously we want the day to reflect you and what you want, but, um, we've also done and seen a lot. And yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
Hopefully only
um
we've seen it, not the
right,
couples.
exactly, exactly, exactly. Yeah, people don't need to see how the sausage gets made all the time.
No. No.
Um,
Yes.
but so I wanna take us back for a second. So, you know, if you've listened to previous episodes, you kinda know, like, what the vibe is. Like, I only tell people to really prepare for, like, to kinda talk about their journey into the wedding industry, and to kinda think about, and you can be as detailed or, however y like, whatever direction you wanna take this, but, I always find it interesting, like, the twists and turns and, like, the people we meet and the things that happen, the disappointments. Like, I always find those things to be, like, really interesting in people's stories about
Yes.
how, they, like, wind up where they are. So,
All the
I guess
tea.
just kind of, like, hit with the
All the
yeah.
tea. You want all
All
the
the tea,
tea.
exactly. Tell me all the tea, yeah. But, like, I guess just
All the
kinda take us
cocktail
back
hours,
to
cocktails.
I guess just take us back to, like, late high school. Like, what was Emily thinking about? Like, what were
Oh, if you wanna
you
know what thinking in
Well,
high school.
we don't have
I'm
to.
just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, honestly, I didn't know what I wanted in high school.
Yeah, well, let's start there. Like,
Um,
what did that look like for
yeah,
you?
I don't know. I honestly like there were so many different things in high school that I feel like I wasn't exposed to a lot of different avenues in high school. What, like, and I talk about it with my husband all the time, like we weren't exposed to, oh, you should go in finance so your wife wouldn't have to work. Just kidding. Uh, so so really like I wasn't exposed to, oh, you could be a wedding planner or, event planner or, you know, really it was like I wanted to cut hair maybe, color hair. I don't know. I like beauty a little bit. Like there was nothing. I actually went into dental hygiene. I'm also a dental
Mm.
hygienist.
Where did you
um
grow up?
in Watchung.
Okay,
Watchung Gillette. I went to Watchung Hills in high school.
okay.
Um so like yes, there were a lot of successful people, but like again, unless you're it's spoken about, like nobody talks about, oh, my dad does this, my mom does this. Um Even guidance counselors, like, there were 2,400 kids, like, you just get lost in the mixes. So I was kind of left to figure it out on my own, like, what would be the best future wise for a family. Like, what would be, how could I raise a family? How could I be there for a family? That was kind of where my head was at. And obviously,
Mm.
like, event planning was not in it in my
So were
head.
you
It
already, like,
really started.
I was just gonna ask, so, like, at
No, go
that
ahead.
age, were you already kind of, like, thinking about, like having a family, like, getting married, having kids? Was that, like, in your plan from day one?
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. Yeah. I like to I mean, as a planner, you kind of plan for everything, your whole life. Maybe that's where it stemmed from. I was like, I need to have my life planned out. Which I
mm.
need to have your wedding day planned out. So it it yes, like I was thinking of big picture, like how could I make money? How could I have a flexible schedule? You know, all of that was kind of on the table because my mom was a stay-at-home mom. I
Mm,
had my mom there all the time. I didn't have a working mom, which growing up, like that was something that I found important. I saw kids where their parents were working, um, it was just a different, nothing wrong with it, but just a different style of being raised and having a family. So, um, that I did want to be there for my family. So,
mm,
and dental hygiene, like they always said, you have a flexible schedule, which I'll tell you, you do, but you don't. I was working 12-hour days, 5 days a week. It was a lot.
mm.
Uh, it's flexible. Like you can be a temp hygienist or whatever, but it's just not, it wasn't it. It was just very monotonous and I like a little spice. I like excitement. Um, so I actually got into like it piqued my interest when my friends started getting married.
Mm.
And two of my best friends got married very, very early. Well, for me. They were like we were in our, like, early mid-20s, like 24, 25. Like,
Yeah,
I guess it's normal, but
I feel like that's for, like, against whatever the average is,
fortunately.
that's probably earlier than
Yeah.
average, yeah.
For now, yes, I wanna
Yeah.
say now. Um, so 24, 25, I found myself really, like, taking control of their weddings. Um, like, yeah, they were marrying their husband, but it was really my wedding too. It was our wedding. Um, so like I would go to the DJ meetings, I would, go to the floral meetings and even like on the day of their event, like I was managing everything. Like it was
Mm,
just I enjoyed it. And it's such a special day that, it was important to me that everything that they had envisioned was executed. Um, and even like venues were saying to me like, "Oh, are you in the business?" And I was like, "I would love to be, like I would love to tell you what to do all day long, not just at home." Um so so that's where I really thought about it, and I mean as I'm sure like it takes a while to kind of get things running. Like it's a big for me going from dental hygiene to event planning, like you have security, you have, insurance, you have this and that, like, how much you're going to make every paycheck. It's that type of security is scary to go from and then jump to owning your own business. So it took a while to kind of like take that leap and get into it. Um, so once I met my boyfriend, my fiance, and then now my husband, um, I wanted to get into it prior. So that was even prior to COVID.
Mm.
Um, but then I was like, you know what? I don't think it's fair. Like I talked about it with my sister-in-law, who now is a wedding florist.
Yes, I was
Um,
gonna mention her. Poppy
she's the
Rose
best. Like
Poppy
if we
Rosie Posey.
She's the best. I love her so much. She's a riot, so she makes my job fun too.
Mhm,
But, I was talking to her, this was before her business got started, and I was like, "It's not fair to any couple that I would work with to be planning my own wedding and planning their wedding, especially starting out." So I really put it on the back burner until till after,
mm,
um, because I wanna be able to focus on my couples. So I got myself married, went through it firsthand, um, during COVID, no less, and
mm,
then that was fun. And, yeah, so then I started, my first wedding was actually my best friend's best friend. So we, hang out, we did all that stuff, and we were out to dinner, and she was getting married the Rhode Island Inn, which is where I got married as well. And, I was like, she was talking about all these things. I was like, you might be able to use a wedding planner, like a day of coordinator, because she was getting married at a church and then going to the venue. And it was just a lot of things.
mm,
And I was sitting there and I was like, you know what? Like, if you, I've always wanted to get into it, if you don't mind, like, I would be happy to help you. Obviously, for like not what I charge now, but nowhere near that. But
mhm,
I was like, I would just be happy to be a part of your day and see where it goes. And if I hate it, then I hate it. It's not like I jumped into it and quit my job and started a new business venture on my
right,
own. And it just went so well. And it was so special being in those moments. Like, like when they get in their wedding dress, like it's you and me, let's say, and mom and bride, and those are such intimate, special moments that even the bridesmaids don't get to be there for. And maybe I'm just a romantic. No, I can't say hopeless, but not anymore. Maybe I'm just a very emotional person.
mm,
Um, so being there in such special moments was incredible for me. So I was like, I can do this. And I handled all, not to like pat myself on the back, but
no,
I feel like
no,
I handled it very well for my first time.
yeah,
Um,
give
and
yourself your flowers.
yeah, and they just like they thank you. And they were so happy that I was there. They were so grateful for everything that I did.
Mm,
And then you go from being a dental hygienist who people come into the office and say, "I hate coming to the dentist. Get me out of here. I love you though, but like get me out of here." To being on the most special day of their life and everybody's happy, God willing.
yeah, yeah,
Um, you know, so it was very rewarding. Um, and I really got to use my creative powers to, problem solve and, execute the day vision wise too. Um, that I really got into it more.
yeah,
Um, so for a while I did hygiene full time and wedding planning full-ish time. And, I cut back on that, after having my baby and all of that. So it was, I really focus on the weddings now. And, I really it's very rewarding. I'm sure you
yeah,
know. And like I said, it's those intimate moments that really I like to everybody to me is like a family. So, I want them to feel comfortable with me. A lot of the times they look to us, I'm sure you too, and they're like, "What do I do?" And it's like, "Come here, I have you. It's okay."
right,
It's my motherly instinct too, like it just I want everybody to be comfortable, and I love making people happy. I'm a people pleaser. You
yeah.
kinda have to be in this business.
Yeah, well, one of the things that I not always, but have kind of come to, um, suspect about many people in the wedding industry, at least people that I, like, look up to and admire, is, like, we all have some sort of, like, I in one, scenario, there's aspects of our personality that could be deemed, like, defects, right? They could be deemed,
Yes,
like, problems, right? But
totally.
in the context of a wedding, those things become like superpowers, right? So that, like empathy or that,
Mhm.
just wanting to like make people happy, right? Like, some of those things are like what make a really great wedding planner or a really great photographer, or videographer, or DJ, whatever. It's,
Yeah,
wanting to like do right by people on one of the most important days of their life. And
yeah,
I think that, again, the people that I like try to surround myself with, or, aspire to be, or, or the things that I try to now instill in people who are like newer to the industry is like, having like a little bit of urgency about like how things get done. And I don't mean urgency in that it has to be like frantic, but like this is like important, like
yeah,
it's an important day, and like there should be some like reverence toward it,
right.
so, I'm with you. Like I show up to the wedding day and, I want to talk to like all the people. I want to talk to the parents of like the bride and the groom. I want to
Right.
talk to like, the maid of honor's boyfriend. Like I want to talk to like, all these people
Yeah,
and go like get to know who they are, right? Because I don't know, at the end of the day, I love taking photos. I love being creative, but the thing that like I don't know. I could take photos anywhere. The thing that like keeps me coming back to weddings is the people, right? Like getting to
right.
be around the vendors, the couples, the guests. Like a lot of photographers will like talk about, oh, like there's Uncle Bob, right? Like, and like Uncle Bob is like this person. Like, oh, there's always like an older relative who like brings their camera to the wedding,
Yes, yes.
and like I don't know. I love those guys. Like I love because like
Without the
99%.
flash, you love them, yes.
But, like 99% of the time, they, like, they get their photos, but they, like, stay out of my way. It's fine,
Right,
And, like, they're just excited about, like, photography like I am, So I,
yeah.
like, always love to, like, go chat those guys up because they always have interesting stories. A lot of times, they were, like, wedding photographers back in the day or, like, so I don't
You
know.
know,
Like,
that says a lot about you because I've worked with photographers where they're like it's in their contract, like, no one else I mean, I don't know what your contract says, but, like, no Uncle Bob's, like and I'm like, "Okay, but you're always gonna have somebody who wants to be there," and, they just automatically have this bad connotation of, "Oh, this person's gonna take photos and get in my way and blah, blah, blah," but they don't always, I mean, as long as they're respectful, but,
right.
that just says a lot about you that you're not completely dismissive seeing somebody like that there,
I
so
mean, there have been, like, scenarios where and it's actually, it's never really been with, like, a relative. I mean, I've had situations that were like a little gray area-ish,
Mhm,
but I don't know, like, at the end of the day, I just try to remember, like, it's not about me, right? Like, it's not about, um, you know like, yeah, of course I wanna get beautiful photos, of course I wanna get, like, these great, like, Instagram-worthy, you know,
right.
photos, and, like, for the couple and for me, like, I'm a human, like, of course I want that, but,
Hello, that's what
yeah,
you do your work for.
exactly, but also, I don't know, like, if the couple is happy, right? And this person is
Right,
not stepping on my toes, not impeding like me getting what I have been contractually, you know, like
yeah,
bound to get, then I don't know. For the most part, like I'm pretty easygoing.
yeah,
Not that like everyone should like now bring their, DSLR to a wedding and like try to get in on the portraits, but like um, I don't know,
no, they
during
like, the ones you're talking about have history and they're they it's it's nice getting to know different members of the party and the
yes.
wedding. Yeah,
Yes.
I get
So,
what you're
but,
doing.
at the end of the day, like, like, the couple is my client, right? Like, so
Yes,
whatever if they say, like, "Hey, we'd rather that person not be here," like, during portraits, like, "Okay,
right.
get the fuck
Yeah,
out." But, like,
exactly.
Uh,
but
but
literally.
right. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's like I forgot how we got on this, but we were talking about like people,
Yeah.
like wanting to be around people.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. We're
and
people.
yeah, and but I feel like that says a lot about you too, in that um, like that like kind of caring, nurturing side of you. Like it's not just about obviously like a big part of it is planning the day, but it's also about like being a I don't know, source of like reassurance and like
Yeah.
encouragement on the day.
Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of couples, not everybody can speak up for themselves, let's say. They
Mm,
get nervous, they don't wanna, you know, they're people pleasers too. Like, they just don't know how to tell somebody, like, they're not happy. For example, like, if they hate their bouquet of flowers, they don't know what to say. That's my job.
mhm,
I get to say, "Redo this bouquet." Um, so we're there to advocate for our couples,
mm.
um, and speak up for them and, like like I said, like, it's like a mom, like, "Mom, what do I do?" Like, "Okay, I got you."
So that's interesting. Do you feel like um and the reason I ask this is because like my I wouldn't say my wife and I are stay-at-home parents, like we're not because we both have our own businesses, but
Right.
we're both around during the week a lot. So
Yeah.
like we're picking up our kids from the bus stop and like from school and
Yeah.
so like and we're getting to spend a lot of time with them. Um but do you feel like the fact that, your mom was around um for you as when you were growing up, like do you feel like that kind of influences your attitude towards like,
It
being a
could.
planner?
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're, digging deep. No, I'm just kidding. It's not that. Uh, there's nothing to that. But yes, probably because you know, she always made us feel comfortable, like, she
Mm,
was always there when we needed something. And, it's, like, terrible to say, but, like, it's kinda sad that it brings a lot of stress on weddings where, you know, unfortunately, I see a lot of mother-daughters who may have a wonderful relationship, like best friends, but like this wedding day stress,
mm,
it stresses their relationship. And these moms look at me like, "Where is my daughter?" And I'm like, "It's okay, just wait till after the wedding. She's coming back." And like the daughter just snaps at the mom, like it happens
mm,
all the time. And so where they normally would have that motherly figure other than a wedding day, like, they don't have that on the wedding day because they're just so stressed out, and unfortunately, I feel like a lot of human nature is we take that stress out on the people we love because we know that they're not going anywhere, but so unfortunately, that's the parents, like, they
mm.
s the stress comes out on the parents where it shouldn't, um, but that's where I come in and kind of, like, diffuse a situation and, you know, I'm play therapist too for the whole family.
Yeah. That's
So,
actually a really
yeah.
interesting point because, um, I notice I mean, again, like, my kids are our kids are young, but, like, um, a lot of times my kids and this is, like, a really common thing where they'll be at school all day, right? And we'll, like, talk to their teachers, and their teachers are like, "Oh, yeah, like, they're doing so great. They're so well behaved and like da 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 da." But then like what we see is like the first thing that happens when they walk in the door is they just have like a complete meltdown and they just
Mhm.
start like, having a tantrum and like yelling and like and I'm
Yeah.
like, what is happening? And like what is happening is they've kept it together all day
Yeah.
and now they're home and they feel safe and they
Right.
direct that to like us.
Right.
Um, so that's like a really I don't know. I think that's a really interesting point about the dynamic between, you know, the people in that situation and like the parents. Like it's not
Yeah.
it's definitely not that way all the time, but like um
No, definitely not, but
yeah.
I just it's you see it more, like and it's mostly, like, the parents that and the kids that are so close
Mm,
a lot of the time.
yeah. Well, and honestly, like I feel like that there's like a weird dynamic in there in that like if you feel comfortable enough to like lash out at someone,
Mhm.
like someone close to you, I don't know. Like I see it in the way that my my 2 boys interact, like, they fight all the time, but then, like, when they get along, like, it's just so great, it's, like,
Mhm.
so beautiful, like, they forget about it, like,
Yeah,
like and
yeah,
I was reading somewhere that that is actually, like, a really good thing to have siblings that fight and then, like, play nice together because it's teaching
yeah,
them that, like, you can have conflict and you can have struggles and that
yeah,
and it's okay. Like, and you
yeah,
can, like, have those conversations, you can have those fights and, like, still have a
right,
really great relationship. So, like, for me, I don't know, my family dynamic was not what I have, but, like, what I'm building now, which is,
right.
and I love my family and I love my parents and I love my sister. But, like, I don't know, I feel, at least for me, I had a hard time feeling comfortable to, like, communicate how I was feeling and my needs all the time, right? And
Yeah,
I was afraid of conflict, really, like, I was afraid to, like, kind of face things, like, head on, and I look at the way that my kids are and it could just be because they're young and they, haven't developed any of that fear yet. Hopefully they don't, but, like, they and, like, in a way, I kind of like, I'm glad that they come home and they're, like, able to express
right,
those feelings, express those emotions, like, it's not shut down,
right, exactly.
Because I would
They're
rather
comfortable.
them.
You gave them
Yeah,
that space to do
exactly,
that.
exactly, and it's not always easy, and sometimes, like, I react too, but, like,
We're human, you're allowed to.
yeah, yeah, um, but, yeah, I don't know, like, that's like, that I don't know, you got me going on, like, the parent-kid dynamic now.
Sorry.
No, it's good.
But we're human, we're
Yeah,
not just a face at a wedding, this is
no,
us.
no, 100%. Um, and it's funny too, like you mentioned, like getting emotional at weddings. Like I feel, I think what's nice is in our roles, I think, and I'll speak for myself, but like I feel like going into those situations, like, yeah, you're able to, like, I don't know, like I walk into a room and I can, like, kind of pretty quickly feel out like
Yes,
what the dynamic is, right? Like what
yes.
the vibe is. Um, but at the
Not
same
everybody
time,
has that.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that's not, it's no judgment. It's just like, you walk in and you can see like, all right, this is like,
Oh,
yeah,
100%. Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, like,
Um,
you feel that tension, like you're in
right.
yeah,
You feel the tension or you feel the ease or you feel the
right.
like
The
or the
whole vibe.
excitement. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, but I think what's cool is like we get to have a front row seat, but we are also like a step removed from it. So
Mhm.
we can be like a little bit more objective about what
Yeah.
needs to happen and you know, like what needs to happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, we get to enjoy those moments. I don't know, sometimes I feel like because we can visually take it all in
Mm,
rather than being totally in it, like,
yes.
when I got married, I don't know about you, but, like, the day went so fast, like, you don't get to enjoy like, not enjoy it, but, like, you don't get to see the whole picture, like, all the moving parts, like, how everything comes together, and, like, that to me is so cool. Um, and, like, it just life goes so fast, and that's why I feel like it's important too when you're planning the day. I'm sure, like, with your timeline too, like, I add in extra fluff, like, I call it fluff time. So, like, you're just not stressed, and, like, you can
Mm,
also take the couple can also take it in rather than, like, you and I get to take it in a different perspective
yeah.
and see all the beauty of it, but, like, they're just go, go, go. Um, so that's, like, I think also, like, where we that helps us with creating the day.
Yeah. Yeah, we're, like, emotionally like, you kinda have to be emotionally detached from it to, like, a certain extent, but they're, like what I was gonna say is, like, I feel like so for me, the camera is almost like this, um it's like this layer of separation, right?
Mhm.
So, like, you I feel like you get to be there and, like, really experience it. Um, so I feel like sometimes I'm able to experience it, but I'm also kind of, like, more concerned with,
Yeah,
like, the technical aspect of things and, like, the
right.
lighting and, like, where this person needs to stand or, like, where that person needs to
You're in the
stand.
zone, like, you're in a
Yeah,
different zone.
it's like a creative zone,
Yeah.
but I don't know, there are some things lately that have been getting me where I feel like I'm almost always able to be, like, kind of detached and, like, unemotional, um, but, like, lately, I don't know what it is, like, uh, something I've been seeing more often that I really, really love is, like, grandparent dances in addition to, the mother-son and father-daughter dances, and,
Yeah.
I don't know, like, you put a grandma or a grandpa out there, and I'm just like a puddle,
Oh, forget it.
you know?
I love
Like
grandparents.
yeah, yeah, same, same, like, I don't know, there's just, like, a real that's, like, a really special relationship. Um, I did,
Right, like, not everybody gets that.
no. No, exactly, and that's, like, what makes it so special, when, like, those grandparents, because like, I think none of my grandparents were around for my wedding, and, yeah, I had, like, a really special connection with, like, both of my grandmas, and,
Yeah,
like, I think about that a lot, and I miss that, and so, like, this past
right.
weekend, I had a wedding where the groom got to, like, dance with his grandma, and I don't know, I was just like like, trying
Yeah.
to keep it together while taking photos.
Take the damn photos, Mike.
I know. I can't. I um, yeah,
No,
I don't know,
it's
like,
true,
but
it's
isn't
an
that, like,
emotional
so much better? Like, you were in kind of a 9 to 5, right? But, like, doing something that people, like, dreaded coming to,
right.
and, like, back in a different life, it feels like I was kind of on the trajectory to work in, like, a 9 to 5, business setting, and, yeah, I don't know, like, I can't imagine my life doing that versus, like, what it is
Yeah.
now.
It's like I said, it's so monotonous, and it's like, if you're a creative person, you're, like, stagnant, like, you just don't get to experience that,
Mm,
like, you're just, like, in one zone, like, you don't get that creative mind that you have,
mhm,
um, which is fun, like, it's so much fun. Like,
yeah.
take me on a rental call, like, a meeting. Bring me on a floral meeting, like, that's the exciting stuff, like, that's not a 9 to 5, we couldn't do that, like, you
No,
couldn't go to a really cool park and take photos in your 9 to 5 for an engagement shoot, like,
no,
no, it's
no.
boring. Working for
Uh
the man is boring.
I mean, look, I get it though, and, like, in so
Oh,
many
I
of
do
these
too, don't get
in
me
so
wrong,
many of
like,
the
the stability, like,
yeah,
who doesn't love,
exactly. And, like,
like,
so many of
you
these
get comfortable.
conversations yes,
Yeah,
people almost, to a T like, I've yet to talk to someone who was like, "Yeah, when I was growing up, I really wanted to be a wedding photographer," you know? Or, like, "I really wanted to be a wedding planner." Like, it's just
yeah,
not something that people think about, and, like,
no,
almost to a T, like, people were doing something else that they weren't fulfilled in, and
right,
then kind of had this inkling of, like, I should be doing something else, and then there's that friend, right, who's willing to give you that chance to do it,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Um, and, I had that too, like, I had those first few people who were willing to give me a chance even though I had, like, no idea what I was doing, um, and it went well, like, it went great,
yeah,
and, like, I feel like the universe kinda gives you those little breadcrumbs and, it's like, "Here,
sure does.
follow me this way, follow me this way,"
Yeah,
Um, but, like, kinda like you, I just wasn't, like, exposed or, like, open to the idea of, like, being my own boss and having a
right.
creative,
It's so
um
scary.
yeah. Yeah.
Like, nobody tells you, like, even like, think about when you first started and setting everything up, like, even opening an LLC, like, what? There's no, like, guideline, like, "Can somebody write something, please? Because like, I still feel like, "What am I doing? Like, am I doing this right? Like, how do I hire somebody full time?" It's just it's so scary.
Mhm.
It's like in school, they don't teach you that, like, they don't teach you how to write a check anymore in school. Like,
I mean
there's no life 101,
yeah,
like, we need that.
we absolutely do.
That's what's intimidating, and I feel like that's what kind of stops a lot of us from doing what we wanna do and taking that leap because, honestly, like, I still look up to people who have these big successful businesses, and they were able to execute that, like, to me, it's so admirable, like, that they were able to do that and take that leap and, could have failed, you don't know. The
Yeah.
unknown, and, like, who likes the unknown? I don't.
No. I don't most people don't, and
especially on a wedding day.
yeah, well, that too. Um, but there's something about that that I do wanna get back to, but I also wanted to say, like, what you were saying about how people who, like, start their own businesses and do it successfully over, like, a long period of time, like, having done this, like so, you know, I characterize myself as a business owner, but I've also been, like, living the freelance life for a long time, so, yes, I have my own
Yeah.
business, but also I, like, shoot for, like, a bunch of other studios, so I'm kind of, like, riding those coattails a little bit, but, like, um,
Well, it's
it
that's a comfort thing too,
it is a comfort thing for
I feel
sure,
like,
and it was
you
also
know?
kind of like a decision about, like, where I wanted to spend my time too, like,
Yeah,
I kind of opted towards, like, I'll let other people handle the front end and the back end stuff so that I can
right.
have more
Why not?
time during the week to, like, spend time with my kids and my family and my wife,
Yeah.
um, and now it's starting to change a little bit, like, I'm kind of trying to prioritize more of my own stuff, but,
But
like
you know what too? I feel like with that, like, I'm sure you've learned so much from working with other photographers and,
Mhm.
like, freelancing, so on it like, that takes a lot to do, like, and it's an education tool that you don't get anywhere else, like,
Yeah,
you're
100%,
working
like
firsthand and you get to meet people that you may not have been able to meet and, you know, like, rather than be caught up in your own business, and like, "Okay, how am I gonna make this wedding work?" And, like, financially, maybe, I don't know, or like, it takes a lot out of you and your family time,
Mhm.
so you're able to kind of firsthand be there at the wedding and take your photos and be creative, and then take a step back and be with your family.
Yeah,
So, it's that's
and
great.
I've been very fortunate in that the people that you know, that I've shot for, second shot for, lead shoot for, they're all, like, very open with their knowledge, and
Right.
that's been really, really great, and, overwhelmingly, like, again, the people that I work for are really, really great, and I've learned from them a lot of really great things, and I've also like, there were other situations and scenarios where I learned, like, what I don't want and, like, what I don't wanna be
Right.
a part of,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know, more and more lately, like, just having freelance for a long time and now, like, slowly building up my own business over time, I've just been getting, like, this feeling more and more that I just kind of wanna build, like, my own thing, right? And I wanna
Mhm.
build, like, a community around the people that are, like, choosing me, which,
Yeah.
again, it's like a big I don't know, I just still feel like it's a big honor anytime anyone's like, "Yeah, we want you there."
Absolutely. They're
Um,
trusting you with their day. It's
yeah.
like it's a lot. It's a big commitment. It's a big financial commitment too,
Mm.
like, and you capture, like, everything. You capture any memory that they'll be able to have and look back on, like, physically. Like, they can remember me yelling at people, but, they're gonna look at your pictures and, say, "Wow, this was a beautiful day."
I mean, it is a really beautiful gift that we get to give to people, and I don't know, I feel like sometimes, like, I kinda have to keep that at arm's distance too, like that idea at an arm's distance because, like, if I were to think about the weight of it all the time, I would just, like, crumble and collapse,
Oh,
you know?
yeah, no.
But
No,
and
don't
that's also
can't
kind of
think too
like
deep.
yeah. But, like, you were talking about, like, timelines before, I only have, like, the bandwidth on a wedding day to, like, deal with a certain amount of information. So,
Yeah.
like, I appreciate it when planners send me their timelines, I do, and I look at them, but when it comes to the wedding day, I'm just looking at my photo timeline.
No,
And if there's,
100%.
like, things that I need to, like, work into that, I will, but,
Yeah.
like, my brain can't handle
It's a
knowing,
lot.
like,
It's a lot.
all the things that are happening before I show up and all the things that are happening after I show up.
Right.
Like, I just need my slice of the day. It's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
you know what I mean? But, like
yeah.
and I feel like it's probably, like, a little bit of a weight off your shoulders too to be like, "Alright, I'm working with someone today," you know, even if, like, if it's me or someone else, like, you're working with someone that like, has command of the day where you don't have to be, like, over their shoulder,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, see, like, my thing is I always tell my couples too when we first start working together, like, I don't step on my vendor's toes. Like, you have your way of doing things. I'm not gonna tell you how to take photos. I'm not gonna tell you how long you need, to take detail photos, you let me know. Like, I always reach out to everybody and say, if you have a timeline, please send it to me. So then I put it into the master timeline. I never change your timeline unless you and I discuss it. So, like, and it's important too,
Mhm.
So, like, let's say transportation from A to B changes, that's something we need to coordinate on. But I will never tell you, like, this is your photo timeline. This is what you need to do. Get it done in this time. Like,
Mm.
no, everybody would hate me. Like, no. Um, so like I really like that whole timeline. Like I always appreciate when photographers have their timeline of the day ahead of time because like don't get me wrong, I have no problem making a whole timeline, but again, are you able to achieve that timeline?
Mm.
Like I have had a photographer say like, "Oh, you just give me the timeline of the day." And I'm like, "Oh god, you want that?" Like I don't want to tell you what to do all day. Like I mean, I have no problem. I love telling people what to do, like but can you get that done? I don't know how you
Mm.
work. That's like, like I'm not you can't tell me to do a dental cleaning in 20 minutes. It's just not how it works,
Right,
So
right.
it's I never do that, and I always try to coordinate with you and, the venue and their timing of how they serve their food or whatever they
Mhm.
have planned for the day, like if whatever time anything's prepared. Um, and then just put it all together and just make sure it flows. But like, I would never. That gives me agita thinking about telling you what to do.
Yeah, well, again, I feel like
Like, how much would you hate me if I said, no, Mike, you have to finish your detail photos in 20 minutes? Like, you'd be like, Emily, go fuck yourself.
I mean, I would probably say it nicer than that, and I would
You'd
do
be
it
like, okay,
begrudgingly.
but then not
Yeah,
do it.
right.
And then we'd all be
No,
stressed because it wouldn't be done.
yeah, well, one thing that I've learned over time is, like, how to work within the constraints of the day, right? And how to work within,
Hmm.
like, the limitations of the day, and I always talk about this with my friend Kelly C all the time, right? Like, you know, we make like we make lemonade out of lemons all the time, right? Like we make beautiful things happen
Hmm.
out of, you know, our thing is like, you put us next to like a dumpster in the alley. If there's good light, like we'll make it look beautiful, you know?
Absolutely. You will.
So I don't know, like and honestly, that's like the real test of any good wedding vendor is like what happens when things are not ideal, right? And
Right.
like we all love beautiful venues and like beautiful like styled shoots and when it's not raining, when the weather's ideal, right? But like
Mhm.
what like tell me like show me a wedding, like show me a gallery from a day where it was like a hurricane, right? Like or show me, like tell me what your plan is for, if there's like a tornado warning or like if there's, a
Yeah.
blizzard, right? Like these are all real things that have like happened,
Hmm.
Um like shooting, shooting weddings in a hurricane in Cape May, like across the street from the beach. Like these things happen.
Yes.
Um
And they look
um
beautiful. They're probably
and
the
they're
coolest
beautiful.
pictures you have too.
And you know what? Like, I mean, shout out to my friend Caroline Morris, who like you and I both know. I second shot a wedding for her down in Cape May. And, again, we were right across the street from the beach and it was a full on hurricane, tropical storm. And so, we found a way to make it work, right? Like you just find a way to make it work. And we did. And it was a great day. It was a great day. Um, but I'll never forget that day because just like you're,
Yeah.
driving down there and like the wind's whipping and the rain's coming down and it's like, all right, I don't know. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna figure it out one way or another.
Mm. A little dicey, but
So I want to like switch gears a little bit because you mentioned like, creativity and like having a creative outlet. Are there any other things that you do like outside of like wedding planning that kind of like feed that creativity?
oh, I'm totally losing you. Is this my wife? Am I blurry?
It says, can you hear me?
Um, okay.
No, I don't know what happened there. We're
Okay.
back.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So I was asking you, like, what are your other creative outlets? Are you into what are you into?
Everything.
Yeah?
No, I love interior design.
Mm.
Uh, I love decorating my home, all those little details. Um,
Mhm.
but I feel like I've actually played with photography back
Mhm.
in the day. So I love that. It was just like I don't know how you do it with the settings and stuff. Like I'm not a technical person. Like
Oh, wait, didn't we talk weren't you asking me about a camera? Like,
I did. Oh,
that's
I've
what
got it.
yeah,
Great. Thank you. Actually, my sister-in-law got one too because she got the same one because we both love it.
that's so
Um,
funny. Oh my god, I, totally
yeah.
forgot we had that,
No,
whole
you're the best
conversation
because,
about
nobody else wanted to answer me, so
Oh, okay. Name names.
yeah. Everybody, no.
No.
Um, no, that one, that was great. So, like, I love, like, taking pictures of my daughter.
Mm,
Um, she's like a little baby model.
mm,
And then just my house, flowers. My sister-in-law's a florist, so I actually worked with her a lot when she first started out. Um, made some arrangements. Just it's
mhm.
just a lot, like, that I couldn't do. I don't know how she does
Floral
it.
design is really interesting. I've dabbled, I like a year or 2 ago, I was trying to do my own little styled shoot, and I was like, I don't know, being cheap about the florals. I was like, I'm just gonna try to do it myself. So I
Yeah.
went to Costco and bought a bunch of stuff, and then bought those little green spongy things that
Yeah.
you use for arrangements.
He hates
And
those.
so
So
what?
not nice for the environment.
Oh, really? It's
I
bad.
don't know. That's what she says.
Okay, I believe it.
But for one time,
Um,
it's I won't tell her.
but I made a couple of little floral arrangements, and I think they came out okay. But I don't know, it just gave me so much more respect for
Yeah.
um, what those people do.
It's a lot. It's a
It is,
lot.
and I
Like,
remember
it's
the day that
crazy.
your sister-in-law was working with us,
Mhm.
those florals were gorgeous. It
Yeah.
was very colorful, whimsical,
Yeah.
just
It's an art.
really.
It really is an art that I just have no patience for. Like, that I just like, the processing of it, like, you have to go pick them up, and then you have to, like you they literally touch every single flower
Mm,
that's
yeah.
in that day that, like, you don't really think about. Like, you just see this big arrangement, but, like, they touched every floral. They cut every stem, they took off every leaf, like, they spun out the petals, like, it's a lot of freaking work, man. I don't know. It's
Mhm.
exhausting just thinking about it.
Right. I mean,
Um,
it's funny if you think about it, the people who at the venue who are working the hardest and sweating the most are the florists, because
yeah,
they're running around drilling arches and you
yeah,
know, zip tying arrangements on really,
and it depends
precarious.
how much time they have too.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's no, mm-mm.
But
I've done
that, I
it
don't know, that is
with her.
really, really fun. I don't know, for me, from an outsider's perspective, I feel I love, I mean, there's something very classic and timeless about a white, rose
Yeah,
bouquet, but I also really love
give me some color.
when brides are yeah, let's throw this, you know, I don't don't know any names of flowers. I mean, I do, but
You don't have to. Just
I'm
know
just
your wife's
"Oh,
favorite flower, and that's it. That's all you
yeah,
need to
that one's pretty, let's put that in the flat lay."
yeah.
Um, but, yeah, I don't know, I have a lot of respect, and I actually maybe I should call your sister-in-law and see if she wants to
Yes,
come on here
definitely.
too.
She's a riot.
Yeah,
She'll
she's very
crack you
funny.
up. Very blessed to
Um,
have her as a sister-in-law and then get free flowers for every event, so it's great.
yes. Just do you guys ever do, style shoots or anything together?
We have, like, in the early beginning, but, like, we talk about it all the time and, like, we need to do a styled shoot, so, hey, Mike, if you're
I
interested.
mean, planting some seeds here, we could make something fun happen.
Yeah, no, it's so much like, that to me is so fun. Like, I don't know how much you like, what's your favorite part of shooting a wedding? Like, is it other than the couple? Like, is it a tablescape? Is it the florals? Is it the venue? Like, what do you love? A lay flat? Like, what do you love photographing?
I'll be honest, flat lays really stress me out. I um, I I well, let me say it this way. To me, I feel like there's so much, like, energy and anticipation, like, leading up to the day that me, like, trying to sit there and, like, style details is, like, very challenging for me. Because I just
Mhm.
wanna get, like, into the day, right? Like, let's get into, like, being around the people, like, the adrenaline
Yeah,
rush part of the day, like, the flat lay, I don't know, it's challenging for me. I have to, like, really
right.
focus. So I don't love details, but I do appreciate, like, good, pretty details. Um, I guess I would have to say, like,
Mhm,
my favorite part of the day is, um it's kinda cliche, but, like, when you get into first look and when you get into, like, the couple's portraits, and then, like, bridal party, like, that whole, like, hour-long, however long that is, part of the day because, um you're making like quick split-second decisions. You get to be a part of that like first like interaction between the bride and the groom,
mhm.
and there's a lot of times it's just like a big release for both of them. Like they just kind of feel like, all right, like we can be ourselves now. Like we can just
Yeah.
like be together
Isn't
now,
that crazy? Like, their whole vibe changes after they
Yeah.
see each other?
Yeah, yeah, and something I've actually seen a couple times, which I really, really loved too, and again, it's not for everyone, but it's, like, something to consider is, like, when couples get ready together. When they, like,
Yeah.
get ready in, like, the same house and, like, help each other out. I don't know, there's, like, something really,
That's like a new thing couples are doing.
yeah, there's something really sweet about that, and because it kinda reminds me of, like, I don't know, there's, like, an intimacy there that's
It totally is.
yeah.
Totally is. Because, like, you're getting ready to go do something together. Like, the
Yes.
whole day is it's you guys are a unit now, right? Like, you're becoming one. Well,
Yes.
ish, for lack of a better terms. But, like, you guys are now like, you're going to be getting ready for the rest of your lives together, hopefully,
Right,
every day. So why wouldn't you get ready together on your wedding day? Like, I
right.
think it's a different take on it, but it's definitely it's cool. It's
Yeah.
different.
Again, it's not for everyone, but
No,
I do think it's cool, and, like and one of the things I always tell couples, and I feel like I'm getting away from your question, but, like, one of
I
the
don't
things I
even know
always
what I
tell
asked anymore. Oh, I know what I asked. But
yeah,
yes.
um, like, when couples say that they don't wanna do a first look, of course, obviously, like, it's your day,
Yeah,
we'll honor, whatever is, like, really important to you, um but I always kinda ask, like, why? What is your reasoning for that? And, like, usually it's because they, like, wanna be, traditional and, like, they
traditional,
wanna
yeah.
have that, like, moment where, you know, everyone sees the bride for the first time and, it's like this big magical moment, um, and I always tell it's usually brides that I'm talking to, and I usually tell them, like, you know, it could be that, but, like, it's also, this is your wedding day, right? Like this is you're marrying this person, right? So
Yeah,
like my kind of like devil's advocate argument for that is like why wouldn't you want to spend as much time with your person
right.
on your wedding day? Um
Mhm.
and of course like yeah, like it's kind of self-serving too because from a photography perspective, if you're not doing a church ceremony, like not having a
Right.
first look really condenses your photography time
Everything.
and you're going to miss your
Yeah,
cocktail hour. And some people are like, "Yeah, we know, like, we're cool with that, like, this is what we
cool with
want."
it.
Sweet,
Yeah,
cool. But, like, if you're on the fence about it, like, my argument is always, like, I don't know, like, if it were me, like, I would wanna spend as much time with my person as possible on that
right.
day. You're
No,
gonna feel most
it is a good point.
yeah, y
Um, yeah, like, I always when couples tell me, I'm like, "Well, for me, I didn't do a first look, but I had a
mhm,
church ceremony, so I made sure that there was efficient time between church and reception,
yes,
because it would have been the time of a first look anyway. But for me, like, I thought, traditional, the whole old school way of doing things. Um, but, like, now being more into it, like, it doesn't matter if I were to do it at a wedding venue, like, have my ceremony there, it's totally a time crunch. Like,
mhm,
are you really able to enjoy that time that really, like, your whole day is based around this whole cocktail hour reception?
right,
Like, that's where you're spending all your money, you might as well enjoy it and be with your partner for, however long. Um, but I forget where I was going with that. But
Well,
but I
you're
always like to ask the couple, like you say, like, what is your reasoning behind it?
mhm,
Um, and you do get that whole, like, some people are like, "Oh, I want him to cry for the first time when he sees me walking down the aisle." Well, he might cry again walking down while you're walking down the aisle. Like, he'll cry when he sees you, and then he'll cry walking down the aisle too.
right, right.
You
Or
don't
he or he
know.
or he might not. He might just not
Or
wanna
he
be
might not.
emotional in front of,
Right.
all those people.
Right. And then you get those
Um,
intimate emotional moments with the first look.
right.
But I do have to say, and maybe I'm an unbiased, but like, for some reason, with first looks, I don't know why it's so cringy when they tap on the shoulder. I hate the shoulder tap. I literally hate the shoulder tap. I'm like,
Okay.
"Can we just, like, say, 'Hey, I'm here,' or, like, something? Can we just, like," it's just so awkward to me. I don't know
Mm,
why. Um,
no, I get that.
like,
Ye
for me, when I did for, like, my dad, I did a first look with my dad, and we were at my grandma's house, so she has these steps that go down to the patio, and I was like, "Just let him, like, see me come down the steps." Like, like, you still get
mm,
that moment, like, take it all in because I feel like you're so close with the first look. It's like, can you really, like,
mm,
see
yes,
the big picture? Like, that's
yes.
for me, I'm like, it's just like, just have that moment of, you see her, like, coming from afar. I don't know.
It's
Like,
yeah, it's tricky, like, from a photography
right.
perspective, like, I understand why, like, the tap is kind of, um, like, I don't know, like, it just makes more sense logistically for
Yes.
the
No,
bride to be,
100%.
like, 5 to 10 feet back so that the groom can, like, turn around and, like, see the whole
Yeah.
thing, you know? Um, but also, like, I think the younger generation now that's kind of coming up and, like, getting married, like, they want things to be, like, a little bit more organic and, like, less
Mhm.
planned,
Right.
Um, which is I agree, like, from, like, a control perspective, I don't mind, like, setting up first looks and stuff,
Right.
because obviously then we're gonna get the best photos, but you know, the other thing about it is it does feel, like, a little contrived, and it does feel a little,
Yeah.
like, unnatural. Um, but it's hard to, like, strike that balance between making sure that you're, like, setting things up in a way that's
Mhm.
gonna be, like, really aesthetically pleasing, where there's, like, good light on their faces
Yeah.
and, like, clean backgrounds, but
Yeah.
also, like, trying to, like, keep your hands off. It's, like, a really tricky balance
It is
to
tricky. It is
to
tricky. Like, I
to
get the reason behind it, you
Mhm.
know? Um, and I'm sure there's more to it, but, like, I don't know why that was like, when I was getting married, I'm like, "I am not tapping anybody on the shoulder." Like, it was just, like, not. I'm like, it was just so like you said, it's a little unnatural, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's not organic, I wanted that, you know, I don't know how to, like, I'm picturing it, but, like,
Mhm.
I just wanted it to be like, you see me when you see me, and then, you get to take it all in rather than, like, "Here I am."
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
that's, um
But I think and what I was gonna say before and, like, kind of my reasoning for bringing up the whole, like, first look thing was, like
Mhm,
and, like, asking, brides and couples, like, why they do or do not wanna have a first look is I think it's really important as a couple, and this is, like, directed at couples out there, like,
mhm.
think about the things that are important to you and, like, make
Gotcha.
decisions, like, intentionally for you,
Right,
right? So,
right.
like, if you're gonna do a first look, cool. If you're not gonna do a first look, cool. But, like, make sure, like,
It's
that's an
for you.
intentional decision, like, for
Yes.
you, not just because
Yeah.
it's, like, tradition or because it's, like, what someone else did, you
Right,
know?
right. No, I totally agree because one thing I always ask, like, I always ask them if they're doing a first look, but then, if they're, like, on the fence, or I've had couples say, like, "Oh, like, we didn't want to, but, like, so and so," maybe it was a photographer, said, like, "Oh, like, you should really do a first look." Well, if that's not what you wanted, don't do it,
Mm,
like, well, it's not ideal timeline-wise, but, like, I'm not gonna sway you one way or another if that's what your vision for the day was to have him see you walking down the aisle,
right.
so it's like you said, it's really what they want. It's not what we want. It's not our day. Yes, it's easier for everybody when you do a first look, but um
But, like but all you're doing when you say that is, like, you're just laying out the reality, right? Like, you're laying out, like, the trade-offs to those decisions,
yeah,
right? So, like, if that, the having, your husband or partner, whatever, see you for the first time, like, walking down the aisle, if that's, like, really important to you, then
Yeah.
yeah, like, let's do that.
Mhm.
Um, the trade-off to that is, like, a lot of times at a venue, like, if you're getting married on site at a venue, you're
Yeah.
gonna miss your cocktail hour.
Right.
So, or
And
you're gonna
so
miss
is
a
your
good
family
you're
and
gonna
friends.
mer you're gonna miss,
And
like, a
how
good
much are they gonna
percentage.
love you after
Right.
that? That gift might change a little bit. They might not have sealed that envelope.
But, like, but again, I think what I've seen and, like, the weddings that I've really, like, appreciated or, um I just love it when couples make, like, intentional decisions,
Yes.
like, for
Yep.
themselves, you know?
Yeah.
And it could be something as simple as, you know, we're not gonna introduce the whole bridal party or the parents, like,
Mhm.
we're just gonna introduce ourselves.
Yeah.
Um, it could be, like, n y just foregoing things that are traditional,
Yeah.
um, because they just don't make sense to you, right? Like, it's really
Right.
important that you do what you wanna do on your wedding
Right.
day.
I see a
And
lot of, you know, family pleasers. Like, my mom wants me to have this, or, my mom did this, but like times have changed. And yes, I get like you want to make everybody happy, but make yourself happy.
yeah,
You know, that's the biggest thing. It's your
it's
day, it's nobody else's day. Yeah,
right.
maybe your parents are paying for it, but they have to respect the boundaries of that and respect your decisions for the day because you're an adult now. Like, you're going off on your own, per
Yeah,
se. If you weren't already.
yeah,
Traditionally, you were going off on your own. But, like, I've had couple brides where they don't want their dad to walk them down the aisle, or they have both parents walk them down the aisle because they both raised them, or mom
right.
walked her down the aisle. So it's really what, I try to tell my couples, like, it's what you want, like,
Mhm.
what do you envision for the day? What makes you comfortable? Like, don't appease anybody else. Um, you know, me too. Don't
Yeah.
appease me. No, but it's really the couples, it's tough to get caught up in it,
Yeah.
like pleasing everybody else, like, "Oh, we're gonna have this," or like, "Is this okay for everybody attending the wedding?" Like, who
Mm.
cares? If they wanna come and be there at your wedding, they're gonna be there at your wedding. And
Yeah,
if they're not happy, it's not their wedding. Like, who cares? They got
yeah.
married or they didn't, or they'll have their own wedding. They're not paying for it, that just
No, dude,
at the end
one
of
of
the day, it's about you 2.
one of my favorite weddings from last year was, and I've probably talked about it, like, ad nauseum, like, on here and on social media, but I'm gonna say it again, but, uh, 2 of my friends got married out in the Outer Banks last June, and, they basically rented out, like, a giant house for, like, all their friends and family, and, it was right on the beach, giant pool, and it was basically
Mhm.
like a week-long
I love
celebration,
that.
right? And, like, yeah, there was, obviously there was, like, an actual wedding and, they put a tent on the lawn
Yeah.
um, and there was, ceremony, band, and food, like, it was amazing, and then the day after, they had, like, a pool party with, like, a food truck, like,
It's so
but
much
just,
fun.
like, and my whole family came down, right? So, like, I got to be there with the couple, like, the whole week and got to meet
Mhm.
their families and, like, spend time with their friends and, like, we all just kind of became this, like, community for the week, right?
Yeah.
And, for them, it was really important. And honestly, like, that wedding really shifted my perspective on, like, for me, like, if I had to do it over again, or if I had, like, advice for couples, like, getting married, or, if this is like me putting out there to the universe, like, what I would want or attract or want to attract is, like, you know, really what's most important to me in that whole thing is, like, our relationships with people, right? And, like, bringing
Mhm.
together, our families, our friends to, like, celebrate this thing that we're creating, right? Like, it's like
Right.
a marriage is like an act of creation. And I'm not religious, but, like, I just, just from
No,
a spiritual
absolutely.
standpoint,
Yeah.
like, that's what it is. Um, and I just felt like for that week, it was really cool. It was really amazing actually to be a part of that, and then to have
Yeah.
my, like, family and kids, like, be brought into that, and,
That's really
um,
cool.
yeah, like, I don't know. For so many people, it's one day, right? Like, it's one day, and honestly, like, maybe it I can also see, like, having all your friends and family, like, if your friends and family are, like, really overwhelming, having them all together for a week may not be great, but, like,
Right.
you know
But it's
so I don't
not.
know,
It's like
like
it's I that's like for when couples, it's not a week-long thing, which I personally love, but I love when couples say, "Oh, we're gonna make a weekend wedding." Like,
mm,
day 1, they'll have their welcome party, if they have a rehearsal, they have a rehearsal, but day
right,
1, they have the welcome party, wedding day, and then the day after, they'll have, like, I don't know, a post brunch or, like, a
yeah,
whole day together. So to me, because it's just you're spending so much money, which is a huge thing.
well,
You're spending so much money on this one day, which, okay, it's a day, but really, how many hours is it really? Like,
most venues, it's 5.5, right?
yeah, like, you start early, like, an hour early, and then so, like, but then, yes, the venue, yes. So it's you're paying all this for what? Like, few hours that, like, it goes so fast, you don't get to enjoy the whole thing.
Mhm,
Um, so I love the idea of a weekend long wedding or a week-long wedding, like, you know and I see, like, a lot of couples doing it rather than a rehearsal dinner, they'll have a party, a welcome party, they'll
mhm,
have the day after brunch, it's and I look back to my own because it's nice when you have that, when you can in hindsight, but, like, I have couples say, "Oh, we're leaving the next day for our honeymoon." I'm like, "Why?" Like, did you even get to take in the whole day? Like,
mm,
you're going from thing to thing to thing, and it's just like it's a whirlwind, like, you need to just take a step back and just look at what you created, look at your whole vision, look at everything that everybody you brought together, I actually had, I forget what wedding it was, but I had somebody request that a photo was taken from behind. I don't know if it was the altar, but whatever, from behind the couple with
mhm,
them and everybody who attended their wedding, and it's
yeah,
just like they got to just stop and look at everybody who was there because, yes, at the end of the day, it is the 2 of you getting married, up at that altar, but look at everybody who loves you and gets to, be there and honor you 2 becoming a couple, and
mhm,
it's just people don't get to do that. People don't get to take it all in,
yeah,
everything's so go, go, go. It's just like it's a lot. It's a
yeah,
lot. Like, it's longer for us because we actually get to, like, and take it all in throughout the day and see
mhm,
everything that goes into it, but, like, when you're in it, like, if I'm in a wedding, if I'm a bridesmaid now, like, it's a lot. It goes so fast. It's just I feel like everybody should just take a second and just see
mm,
what they did, what they created.
yeah. Yeah, and honestly, I I try to really be aware of that, especially when, like, depending on what the timeline of, like, the sunset is, like, sometimes it falls, like, right after
Mhm.
the ceremony. So sometimes, like, literally, the first thing they do after they get married is, like, talk to me, like,
Yeah.
go take pictures, and, like, a lot of times in those settings, you know, I'll just be like, "Hey, let's just take a minute. Like, you guys just got
Yeah.
married,
Yeah.
and so I'll just, like, give them
Although
that."
if that sunset's good though, you gotta
Sure, yeah. Well, what I mean by that is, like,
No,
I'll
I know.
still be taking pictures of that, but, like,
Yeah.
don't look at me, right? Like, look
Right.
at each
Look at
other.
each other. Talk to
Look at
each
each
other.
other,
Yeah.
have a moment, like, just be in that for a second,
Mhm.
and I'll take photos of that, you
Yeah.
know? Um, like, some of my favorite photos, like, even just from, like, a week ago, was up at Nanina's, and, they have that chapel on site now, and there's that walkway that goes, from the
Mhm.
chapel, like, back into the cocktail hour space, and, I have been making it a habit now to, like, follow the couple, like, you
Mhm.
know, right after that moment where they, like, recess down the walkway, and, sometimes I'll, like, try to shoot them from behind, even if, like, the bridal attendant is there, I'm like, "Whatever, like, they're part of this, I don't care."
Yeah. Yeah.
But I, like, made it a point to run around them and, like, take photos from the front, and I like, one of my favorite photos from the day is, like, they're holding each other's hands, and she's just like, "Yeah," and, like, their hands are, like, up in the air, and it was, like, such a, I don't know, like, unplanned moment, or, I don't know, like, it was just so
Yeah.
cool. It was so
Yeah.
great, and it's, like, captured the energy of that moment.
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
Very candid. I love
yeah,
candid photos
yeah,
'cause you really get the element of the day for sure.
yes, yes. So like, I don't know, like those, the posed beautiful photos are great.
Yeah.
Um, but more and more
Those go
like,
on your wall.
those go on the wall. Those are the ones that go to grandma. Those are the ones that go to
Yeah.
mom and dad. But like, I don't know. The I don't know. I really just try to shut the fuck up sometimes and like just be in the moment with the
Yeah.
couple. You know,
Yeah.
it's so hard though.
It yeah, it is hard.
Um, so switching gears again, I like always try to kind of like wrap these things up with like what are your plans for the future? What does, events by Emily look like, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? If you have a plan, if you don't have a plan, like, cause I have some plans. Like I feel like I've been thinking more about this because I just
Mhm.
turned 40 this year. And so I'm like, I should probably like plan for the future a little bit.
Get our shit
Um,
together.
yeah. Um, so I'm just curious, like, have you thought about a long-term plan for yourself? Like, what is, are you gonna stay in weddings as long as you can, or like, what does that look like for you?
Yeah, you know what? I would love to grow a team
Mm,
so that I trust because I feel like having people work for you when it's not their own business, it's different. Like, don't get me wrong, I have wonderful planners that I work with. I have them come, my girls, but like they also have a 9 to 5 or, so they're not fully planners. They come and help me day of. But like, I would love to grow a team that loves my business and our couples as much as I do and, be able to take on these weddings on their own and, execute them from A to Z. So,
mhm,
and then I could just maybe take a step back.
yeah,
I always talk to my husband. I'm like, I would love to have own a wedding venue or like do something or an event space or whatever. But, the more you're in it, you're like, ooh, do I really want that?
mm,
So it's a
yeah,
lot. Like, I feel like we have all these visions for our future and, you know, which is great because sometimes one vision leads to another and that's how you end up where you end up being. But, um, I would love to grow more. Um, but for now, I just, it's tough. Like it's tough relying on other people to,
mm,
you know, execute everything,
yeah,
and respect your business as much as you do.
yeah,
Because like when we go to a 9 to 5, we're a 9 to 5, we do our job. Of course, we respect our boss and respect whatever we're doing, but at the end of the day, you go home and that's it, and these you just want to make sure that somebody's fully in it.
yes,
So, you
yeah,
know,
and I think about that too with like my own business. Like, would I ever trust an associate team? And I don't know.
scary.
Um, it is
It's really
scary.
scary.
It's definitely like when it's not, when you haven't made the connection with a couple, or like established, like they're booking you, right? Like they're booking like your name on the business, right? Well, for me, it's not exactly my name, but like,
Yeah.
but it's like I am the face, right? And
Right.
I don't I don't know what that would look like for me. But I also know that like I'm getting older, my kids are getting older. Um, I still want to be like as involved in their life as I am
Yeah.
now. Um, shooting like 50 to 75 weddings a year, like I don't think that's in the cards for me long term, just
No.
from like physical standpoint. Like,
A
you know,
lot.
yeah. Like I had a double this weekend and I woke up Sunday and I was like, "Oh my god," like my
A
feet and
wedding
like
hangover.
the
It's a
wedding
wedding hangover.
hangover.
That's what I call it.
Yeah. But then,
When we work a wedding, like, your body just, like you get this headache, this, like your body just releases everything, and you're just, like, everything I don't know about you, but,
mm,
my
no.
body's
Yeah.
just like, "Whew," and you just feel hungover. It's my wedding
Yeah.
hangover. So it's a
Yeah.
lot. Like, double headers are tough, man.
Yeah.
I used to do triple. I don't know why I did
Yeah.
that.
I've really tried to like
That's
get
not for me anymore.
I used to do a lot more triples. This year I have 2 2 triple weekends, but I used to do a lot more,
It's a lot.
and,
That's like it's
but the problem now is, like, the double after a double weekend, which is usually, like, a Friday and a Saturday,
yeah.
by Sunday, like, my wife, who's been with the kids now for 48 straight hours, is like, "It's your turn." And
Yeah.
so, it's, like, not a relaxing day,
No.
and, like, and justifiably so, right? Like, I've talked about this with her, like, she's second shot for me, she's like, "Yeah, this is tough, like, this is a long day, shooting a wedding,
Yes.
8, 10 hours, but being home with 3 kids by yourself, like," she's like,
It's a lot.
I would go to a wedding any day over being home with all 3 kids." And we love our kids,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, but, like, it's a
No,
lot.
it's a different job.
Yes.
It's a different emotion, it's a whole different realm that you're dealing with.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So, like, yesterday, for example, they like, Luca had a birthday party to go to, so, take him to the birthday party, and then we gotta go grocery shopping, so we go to Trader Joe's, and then, you know, it's a beautiful day, so, like, let's walk up to the park, and, like, let's go fishing, and, like, let's play on the playground, and,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's not like you get that time to just, like, chill,
No.
and
No, there is no chill.
I actually really love recording these episodes, so if you're listening to this, we're recording on a Monday, um, like, I love recording these on Mondays after, like, a busy weekend because
Mhm.
I feel like, I don't know, I'm, like, a good tired, and I feel like all the stuff from, like, the weddings over the weekend is still, like, fresh in my head, so I'm
Yeah.
like, um, I don't know, just I, like, have that mentality still, like, ringing in the back of my head.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I don't know, like, being a parent and being in the wedding industry, actually, I think one of the things that I've been throwing around, is actually doing an episode with my wife and, like,
You should.
talking, yeah, like, talking with her about what, you know, our dynamic looks like on those wedding weekends, because she's actually
Yeah.
now, she started her own business a couple years ago. She does lactation counseling and she's a
Yeah.
doula. So we are
Crazy.
now in this position where, I'm shooting weddings on the weekend, and now she's kind of on call for, like, moms who are like,
Babies don't wait for those weddings.
babies don't wait for weddings, and neither of us can really call out of our jobs. So, like,
No.
we're
No. It's tough. It's like
yeah,
it's very and that's when you say, like, 5 years, I'm like, well, now I'm thinking you're talking about the kids. I'm like, I see my sister-in-law, the kids go to school during the week. Like, your kids go
mhm,
to school mine doesn't. She's just walking now. But, like, your kids go to school during the week, so you only see them after school, bedtime, and then the weekend that you would get with them, you don't get with them because 'cause you're working. So,
yeah,
like, that's the downfall of working the weekends, having a weekend job because, now for me, it's okay because I see my child every single day of my life. And I'm like, "Okay, get me out on the weekend." But, like, once you don't see them all day every day, it's different, and you want that time with them because you don't get that back,
yeah,
So it's yeah,
yeah.
we gotta grow that team.
That's
We're the
my
people we
wife.
trust. Come on,
My
guys.
and my wife, like, right around the time that I went full time with photography, my wife left a very stable teaching job because she just wasn't, fulfilled with it
It's not what
anymore,
it
and
used to be.
it's not, yeah, yeah, and, there's a lot that went into that decision, but, we talked about it, and at that time, we had 2 kids, and we're, thinking about having a 3rd, and we she just felt very strongly that she wanted to have that time as a stay-at-home mom with them, and we were kind of in a financially in a place financially to do it, like, but
Yeah,
I don't know, we were both on the same page of, like, this is gonna be a stretch, but we'll make it work because, I
yeah,
don't know, like, we've always just kind of made decisions around, you know, making sure that our kids feel, like, taken care of,
yeah, yes.
Um, so and that was, like, the impetus for her to kinda switch gears entirely and go into the route that, she's gone now, which is, like, maternal health and
Mhm.
lactation and all that kinda stuff. So, um, I don't know, it's thinking about, like, what we're building too, like, we've been doing a lot of talking about that, like, um, we have, some, like, some plans and ideas and things that we're throwing around where, for a long time I felt very like aimless and just kind of like in the moment doing this thing and
Right.
like there's a lot of fun in that. Don't get me wrong. Like my mentality has always just been like, let's let's go, like
Mhm.
let's have fun now and we'll figure out the rest later. But,
Money comes
now
back, time doesn't.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I'm always curious though with like people in the like I've talked to some people who have a very definite plan of like what
Yeah,
they want to do and they're like building something, in a very methodical way.
yeah.
And then I talk to other people who are just like, yeah, I don't know. Like we're just going like year to year,
Go with
weekend
the
to
flow.
weekend. Yeah.
You know what? Like, I've learned, and I'm sure you've learned in life too, a lot. Like, even as a planner, I'm like so type A and I want to plan everything in my life and everything needs to be figured out. But like, sometimes life just smacks you in the face and it's just not what you plan. So I've kind
Mm-hmm.
of learned to just, as difficult as it is, just go with the flow.
Mm-hmm.
And even at wedding days, you go with the flow. Like, it just, I think that has to go with a lot in life. You can't plan everything perfectly. You may have a vision, but it's doesn't mean your vision's gonna come true.
Mm.
Or vision might change, so you have to do what's good for you now,
Yeah.
and what gets you through. And yes, everybody has a goal, hopefully, to aim for in the future, but it's you just gotta go with it.
Yeah.
You can't, because then you're gonna disappoint yourself sometimes.
So what would you say like your goals are? Like ultimately, like
Other than
what
being
is
a mom.
yeah, yeah, like
I don't know. I would say to grow my business and to, have people that I trust to take over weddings for me. And, I'd still be there, but I'd have a trustworthy team and, you know, just grow and just to have more experience. I think we're always learning,
mm,
in this industry too. It's growing and changing and learning. So, you know, I mean, I'm sure there's things I don't know that other people know or have had experience in, like you learn so much every day, every wedding, you meet
mm,
different people that give you different goals and aspirations. And, you know, I think I think just to grow the business more. And I don't want to say like have it run on its own, but like in a sense, yes. Like who wouldn't love some passive income and just sit here and look pretty and have somebody do the work for me? Um, but that takes time. It takes time. It takes
yeah,
training. It takes, I have a lot of girls ask me to train them because they want to, you know, and coach them because they want to have their own wedding business, and I just have to learn how to do that properly. And just my husband's like, just do it. You're so good at that. You're so good at teaching. And I'm like, yeah, I would love to, but I don't want to screw them over either, So I would love to do that too. I would love to have a coaching,
mm,
business where I could teach people how to, be a day of coordinator, or plan weddings, or all the ins and outs of it. But, and that's something that could be more of a 9 to 5, So,
right.
um, and a little passive income, if anything. But, it's like, look, there's so many different goals I just gave you in the last 5 minutes. I think whatever comes my way, like even opening my own business was my friend. And I just said, hey, like, let's do it. And that girl, Catherine, thank you. She's her and her family have given me so many opportunities with weddings, and I've met so many incredible people because of them,
Mm,
so you just don't know what is going to come your way sometimes, and it's just a blessing in disguise, like what the universe can give you.
yeah. Yeah, I it's hard to know, like, what to focus on sometimes, at least from like,
Yeah,
one of my struggles, especially with, like, being pulled in so many different directions by, like, family life
right.
is knowing, like, where to put my energy, um,
Yes.
but, like yeah, I don't know, I feel I'm very much a believer in, like, kind of moving with, like, the flow of the seasons, right? So, like,
Right. Yes.
we're just kind of like coming out of winter where things are like kind of dormant and like, we're supposed to be like relaxing and resting and regrouping, which I don't know. I mean, whatever that means to you. But like now that spring is kind of coming around, you know, there have been a lot of ideas that my wife and I have been throwing around about different things that we want to kind of build and yeah, I don't know. It's just like really exciting. But
Yeah,
also one of the things that a friend said to us recently was like, don't forget to just like sit in gratitude for like what you've already created, right?
I love
'Cause,
that.
like, I was thinking about that like, this morning too, like, unrelated to this, like, if 18-year-old Mike or, like, 22-year-old Mike saw what his life was like today, like,
I think you'd be
it
pretty damn proud. I hope you'd be.
yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure, and I bet it's, like, the same for you,
Yeah,
just, like,
yeah.
kind of I don't know,
No,
like
that's a good point because I feel like we all look for the next thing, like, look to grow, look to, like, what's our goal? But just take a second, like and I've learned that with having a baby, like, you think of everything you need to do in the future, but, like, take a second, like you said, in gratitude and just, like, appreciate what you have, appreciate what you've accomplished, and, you know, that's, like, what I said before, like, stop and look at your wedding day, like, look at what you
mm,
created,
yes.
so it's
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, those little moments where, you know, like, you do the ballroom reveal, and you just have that moment with each other where, like, I feel like, for
yeah,
a lot of times for venues, it's, like, a little self-serving because, they, like, want the couple to remember that moment, and, like, rightfully so, right? Because they put a lot of time and energy into that, and, like but
yeah,
you do too, right? But I think it's also, important for the couple to, like, experience that moment and, like,
mhm,
for whoever was, like, doing the planning,
yeah.
to, like,
Let's
have that
talk.
to, like, sit in
Yeah,
that for a second. Yeah.
right, and then you get a photo. And then you
Yeah.
end up on the top of, Ryland's magazine.
Hopefully.
If you go on, their website, I'm up there.
Oh, you are? Alright.
Yeah,
I'll have
my
to go
wedding.
check out
It was
Landmark
me,
right after
actually
this.
me, not my
Y
not a wedding I created. I did though. Yeah, but see, like, it's, serves everybody when you do that.
Yeah, I love that. I lo
No, but it's a lot because you get to see what you created and not just have everybody in there and it's just chaos, like, you take a second for yourself,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is cool.
Well, Emily, on that note, feel like that's a really good place to call it. I
Yeah.
really appreciate you taking the time to do this. This was really, really
Thank you so
fun.
much for asking me, I love this.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
come on again.
We'll do a part 2,
We'll
100%.
chat.
We'll
I'll
do
bring my sister-in-law.
You know what?
It'll
That
be a
could actually
trio,
be really, really fun.
the
That would
3 of
be a
us.
little unhinged, but really
It
fun.
no, very unhinged, like, even my couples say, like, "Oh my god, you guys are so funny together," and I'm like, "Well, she's my sister-in-law, so."
Yeah,
And they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we're
but I've
pretty
been
fun."
meaning to get a florist on here too, so, like, I feel like that could be really, really cool.
She's the best. She's not only talented, but she's funny, unfortunately. Gotta give her that.
Well, alright, so we'll definitely have to do a
Yes,
part 2, and we'll
part
invite your
2, for
sister-in-law.
sure.
But yeah, I'm excited to hopefully see you out there at some point this year.
I hope so. I
Um,
really do.
if nothing else, we'll have to, aside from doing a podcast episode, we'll have to plan some sort of styled shoot or
Oh,
something.
yes. Give me
We'll
some styled
get
shoots
some
all day.
beautiful florals going, get some cool design going.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and the
Well,
beautiful photography. Thank
thank you
you,
so
Mike. I
much,
really
Emily.
appreciate it. This was so fun.
Absolutely. All right, you take care.
You too. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.